Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cities, Skylines, Industries. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back. Things, as always, are going pretty swimmingly, if I do say so myself. We are currently losing about $12,000. But we are sitting on $11.5 million with a population of 202,500 people. We have next to no demand for residential, about medium demand for commercial, and medium demand for industry/offices as well. And it's been a while since I've done that particular intro. I know we did it on the last episode because the last one wasn't a live stream episode, just as this isn't a live stream episode as well. But this is actually the first video I'm recording for sort of the, getting back to it for 2019. If you don't know, I took 6 weeks off, barely posted any videos, but we're back. So, how you doing? How you been? Hopefully doing okay? All right, good to know. Today, I kind of have another two ideas for what I'm considering. Number one, I'm thinking that we might come out to this island and we might do a zoo out here. I'm not entirely sure what the best way to do it would be, because I kind of want to do it without bringing a bridge over here. So I might cheat a little bit and actually have a tunnel over here, but set the tunnel so that only emergency and service vehicles can use it. That way any tourists or people that want to come over here, they have to take a boat or maybe a blimp. We don't have blimps at the minute, but we could maybe set it so it takes a blimp, because we can't do a helicopter, but a boat is very Jurassic World, and a blimp is very Jurassic Park as well. It's as close to a helicopter as we could get. So that's idea the first. Idea the second is that I take this relatively flat area here, and I build another little town in it. Kind of like what we did with Castletown up here. And I kind of like this idea. I like the idea of putting another little town in there, because this is just a big empty space with nothing in it. So, you know what? Let's maybe try and do both. Let's see if we can maybe do both. So we'll start with the town, because it won't actually take that long, and also because it's probably going to have a very similar layout to Castletown anyway. And what we could actually do, if we really wanted to, is we could use Move It to duplicate the old Market Street and use that as the center of the town, which I almost kind of want to do. So we might actually have to do that at some point. Anyway, let's just focus on getting this little thing up and going. And I think what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to smooth the terrain. I was about to say flatten, but I think we'll go with smooth just to make it a little bit nicer in there. It's still going to be in this sort of, this dip in the hills, but I think that's okay. So basically we're going to very quickly build a small scale city is essentially what this is. So I think what I want to do is I want a main road going there. And I want to go for some one-way roads around that. I'm going to do one-way with grass and not trees. And I'm going to make it sort of this size, I think. So that'll kind of work out. And I want to see if I have any landmarks or anything I could use here. We could use a department store right there. That could look kind of interesting. London Eye. We could throw the London Eye in there. I don't think that's going to look too good. We have got the winter market. I don't think we'll bother with that. What else have we got? Have we got something like... I don't think we have the tax office yet. I haven't actually done... Yeah, because that's water treatment plant and all that. I guess we could get the tax office. It kind of looks like a little... It does kind of look like a little building that might belong out here. But I feel like to get the tax office... No, oh, no, hold on. I'm totally mistaking things here. There is something I want to unlock that needs... Yeah, like the crime rate over 50%. Okay, let's try constructing the water treatment plant, which is one of these. Oh, we have the eco ones, don't we? Okay, well that's fine. We'll throw a water treatment plant just there, and we'll hook it up to the pipes, and that can pollute until it's happy. And immediately we get the tax office. That's perfect. Okay. So the tax office, I want to place it there, basically. I might move it in a little bit, but I want it to sort of be the center of this little village slash town thing. I just want it to be right in the middle. I think that's going to look really good. So I'm going to put a road there, and that's where the tax office is going to go, just a little bit away from there. And I do think this whole middle part should be all the same level. So that right there can be leveled to that height. We can smooth around it, and then the rest of it's going to be hills and all that stuff, because this is kind of going to be our town center. That's my thinking for this little space. So you kind of go, you know, straight up towards this building. We'll have like a nice little park. We can do some nice buildings, maybe some parking lots, because obviously it's been a while since we've had some good parking lots, so why not? Let's also go and do a one-way road going in there. Actually, you know what? Do a two-way road going there, a two-way road going there, and a two-way road going there. And I think I'm going to do the same here as well. So everything's going to sort of loop back towards the little town center with this main road here. And I think what we could do as well is maybe extend this just one little bit further. And we do have some highway over here we could connect to, but I'm actually thinking that this is going to be connecting over here, almost. I kind of, well, maybe to both places. We could do like a little intersection over here and one over here, and then see what highway traffic does. We'll figure it out. So this is probably fine what we have. This little bit here. I want to go 20 in that direction and 20 in that direction, just to sort of end off that road there and line all of this up. And we're pretty much building something that's going to be a massive square here. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to link all of that together, and I'm going to let these be roads that people can park on. So this is all going to just loop around just like that. And that gives us a little town center, sort of a little road going around it, room for, you know, commercial buildings and shops and all that kind of thing. We could very well do some roads coming in like this for additional commercial buildings, but I think I want to leave some space for parks or for departments. Actually, the department store might actually look pretty good back there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. That's terrible looking. Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, yeah, it's kind of bad looking, isn't it? No, let's not do that. We could do it down this end. That's always an option. I actually kind of like that, so sure, we'll keep that. And I think what I'm gonna do as well is have some roads just circling this, but I want to leave a little bit of room because, of course, we're putting parking lots around this. So just a tiny little bit of room there. That'll give us room for parking lots. And that's where people can, you know, go to the department store. So select all this, level it to that height, and everything's going to be nice and flat there. Okay, I still don't actually know how we're going to get people in here. And I'm actually thinking that maybe the solution would be one-way roads like this. So traffic, oh, this could be very interesting if that was the way into the town, couldn't it? That'd be a bit strange though, but I kind of like the idea. All right, let's see what we can do here. Let's imagine we have this two-way highway and it's going this way. And then we need to branch it off, and we need one bit of road to go essentially there, and we need one to go pretty much there. So that pretty much gives us an entrance straight into the town center, which honestly is probably a bit weird. I don't think it makes too much sense that the entrance to this little town goes straight to the town center, but I don't mind it too much. Because again, it's a weird little village. It's kind of similar to what I did with the other one as well, so I don't mind that too much. And I guess we technically have this little kind of ring road thing going around as well, so it should be okay. Let me go ahead and freeform a bit of this road then. So I kind of want to just freeform it in... Let's see. I kind of want to freeform it that way. It is cutting into the hills in quite an interesting way there, isn't it? So freeform it that way. Actually, where would... This right here would probably be a good spot for a roundabout. It's quite flat. So bring that back a little bit, and let's do the roundabout first. And the roundabout's going to need to be kind of sizable on this, I think. So let's go here, and we'll just do a... We'll just do a 10 by 10. I don't know what that flash is every time I'm placing roads. I'm pretty sure we've had this issue before, and it's infuriating because I really don't know what's causing it, and it's not easy on the eyes, I'll tell you that much. It is not. I don't know how like badly that might be coming across in the video, but it is not coming across any better for me sitting very close to this this screen right now. Now that actually almost runs perfectly in there. I kind of don't want to do that. I kind of want to freeform this way a little bit, then bring it back. Not that there's any reason to do that. It just kind of looks better if it's almost following the terrain. I guess I could raise the terrain a little bit there to give it more reason to do that. So we might very well want to do that at some point. I'm also probably going to change the way on and off this roundabout so it's a bit smoother, but we'll do that a little bit later on. There's no real rush there to get that done. So, speaking of ways on and off the roundabout, I think we're going to have to go from back here. I think we're going to have to go from back here. Because there's obviously a big junction there, which means the road's going to have to sort of slink off up this hill and then over that way, which could be kind of cool. So I guess we do that, or we just do a junction. I guess that's an option, but the junction might look a bit weird. Junction could definitely look weird, especially with its sort of cliff face thing going on. But I think I'm going to do that. I think I'll go for the junction just to save on a little bit of a pain in the butt with getting a roundabout into a highway right now. So I'm just going to tear all of that out. And I know like people don't like me doing that, but I'm doing it anyway. This is just a quick and lazy way to get a nice little bit of road off the highway here. It doesn't need to be, it's at the edge of the map as well. It doesn't need to be perfect. So connect you to there, connect you to there, and then we can just turn this into something a bit more interesting, I suppose. We'll do that shortly as well. I also need to not pause the game when I'm doing this. I have no reason to be pausing the simulation as much as I do. I hate doing that because I get so conscious of the fact I'm doing it. That's just a thing. Speaking of being conscious, actually, just while we're building this, I recently saw a comment that got me thinking. And it was... I think it was on my comment review video, which, by the way, if you've not seen, it is easily the best video of 2019 so far, if I do say so myself. No. Anyway, if you've not seen that, go watch it when you get a minute. I had a lot of fun making it, and hopefully you'll have a lot of fun watching it. But I saw this comment, and it was like, hey, because the point of this video, the title of the video was addressing how I speak, which I think we can all agree is a bit weird. And I don't mind that I speak a bit strange. To be honest, I actually kind of like it. I like that my voice isn't just another voice. I'm trying to not sound completely full of myself here as well. It's like, I actually have a great voice. I like that my voice is my voice, right? It's, I guess, distinctly me. I don't know. I like it. All right. I like it for that. I don't go out of my way to be like, I like my voice. But I like that it's distinctly mine. That's what I like about it. Anyway, there was this comment that was like, yeah, I don't so much mind your voice, but I've noticed And I think the person commenting was trying to be nice about it, and they weren't mean about it. They were fair, and I actually kind of agree with them. But the comment was like, hey, I don't mind your voice, but I've noticed, having watched most of your City Skylines or something videos, I can't remember exactly what it was, I've noticed that you basically have phrases. You have sentences that you say a lot. You have a lot of things that you repeat. And the comment was worded a bit nicer than I'm making this person sound like a bit of a silly bugger. They weren't. It genuinely wasn't like a hurtful or a rude comment. It was someone that was kind of just like, they were trying to provide feedback, honestly. Because the point of the comment was like, why don't you could try telling a story, try talking about something like comments, like we're doing right now. So mission accomplished to that comment here, I suppose. But it got me thinking, and it really kind of hit home, because I'm like, yeah, I do have a lot of things that I repeat and that I say a lot. And it got me thinking about why that is. And I realized the reason that there are these phrases and there are these things that I say a lot is because of the nature of the games that we play, right? Like, it's mostly management games in the channel. That's going to be changing in the near future to be a bit of a wider variety of games, but it's largely management. And in a lot of these management games, you have the same situations, you know? We're going to place more roads here. We're going to place more roads there. We're going to do, X, Y, and Z today. And yeah, the comment it really got me thinking about, like, trying consciously to maybe bring up stories, maybe bring up the comment and address it in a way that's not mean, because it wasn't a mean comment. It was genuinely a pleasant comment to read. It was constructive criticism, which is something I think is definitely needed on YouTube. I think there's a lot of, now we're just getting preachy, and I do apologize, but there's definitely a lot of feedback on YouTube that's not so constructive. So having someone that's like, yeah, videos are great, but you keep repeating yourself, I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that. So again, basically, mission accomplished on the comment. Mission accomplished on that one for sure. Anyway, while I've been telling this this story, we have been a little bit busy, as you might have noticed. Basically, just measuring out the space for where we're going to have the nice, smooth connections for the roundabouts here. And I'm not placing them too smooth at the minute. Again, you might have noticed that. But at least this way, it's a little bit easier to get on and off of the roundabout. And that's actually going to be the 3 connections that we need there, because this one's going to go all the way around and sort of along the train line, possibly into a tunnel and out over here somewhere. And I'm not actually sure how we're going to connect it to the highway. Might actually need to do a roundabout on that side, but we'll figure it out. Let's just go in with the freeform tool here, and I basically want to go like that. So it just curves around really, really nicely. It can actually go past the train track, I think. And honestly, I think this way as well. So bring it sort of along the face of this hill and then down that way. We'll just take it through the countryside. It's a super long road that's barely going to get used, but I think it's just going to look good. I think it's just going to look really cool. So just have that sort of cut through the countryside, do its thing. It is going to need some kind of intersection, so I'm actually thinking up here, possibly, just to make life a little bit easier. We'll just throw another intersection in here. So just right about, I guess, there. Or there, I guess there'll do. Take that part out. And let's see, there to there, there to there, and there. And that's probably a thing I say a lot. The old there to there and there to there thing. This is what I mean. Like, I'm suddenly very conscious of things that I say so that I'm not just constantly repeating myself. And again, you know, I have no problem with the comment. Like, it was genuine sort of feedback, and that is something that is definitely that's definitely appreciated, especially when it's worded nicely and isn't just like, I think your city design is terrible. I'm watching your city Skylines Let's Play for realism and accuracy in city construction. Oh, we actually get a few of those from time to time. Legitimately. Occasionally do get things that are like, yeah, what, like, this city's so unrealistic. I can't help but agree. Really. I really can't help but agree. Like, none of my cities are realistic. Have you seen the tiered city? Like, just, come on, man. Anyway, we have this in here, so that road's actually up and running at this point. So that's a good little connection. I'm gonna probably do a bunch more trees around this and make it all a bit more rough, but I think this even looks cool, just having it weave through these big hills and all that. I think that looks really cool. So let's figure out where people are gonna live, because that's the fun part. I think we'll go straight up there, and I want to go, I think, 45 degrees. So like that. We can put a nice curve on that little bit of road there, but I just want to go up a little bit. And I kind of want to go 45 degrees again. So the road sort of curves up the hill slightly. And I think that'll be kind of interesting. So let's go another 45 that way. And I think another 45 that way. And that can be sort of a road that we put some suburbs on or something like that. So if I turn off road guidelines, what I can do is go in here and chop out the corners. And this is pretty much my plan to get some really nice little curves on this. So it's going to look a bit more like a twisty-turny road than the thing I just built, which is beautiful. So take those out, go in with the guidelines, and just very simply connect the corners together. And we get a road that, you know, curves up the hill. It has some straight parts. It has some curved parts. It just kind of goes up there, and we can build some suburbs on that. It's going to look a bit silly, but that's probably all right. I think we'll do similar here. This can go out a little bit, and then we'll go 45 again, because why not? We'll go a little bit further on this one, just because we can. And this isn't something I want to mention, just speaking of my cities being incredibly unrealistic. I don't often, I'll say often, because I do sometimes plan things. I don't often plan what my cities are gonna look like. Even on all the live streamed episodes of this series, a lot of that was just sort of, I mean, in the more recent ones, it was basically boot up the live stream, chat for a couple of hours, tinker with little things, and just figure out what we're gonna do. And I kind of like that. I definitely think that's why I don't really do creative city skylines anymore as well, because I like just sitting down and being like, what are we doing? What are we building? What's gonna happen if I play this game for an hour and just build? What are we gonna end up with? I really like that. I also really want to have a look at the suburbs over here, because they are just grids. Okay. Well, that's gonna be easy to replicate. I don't know if I completely want to replicate that, but sure, we can do something like that, I guess, to give us some houses in that particular direction. We could technically do this as well, which is going to give us houses in another direction. Bit weird looking, but okay. We can go this way, I suppose, which is also a bit weird looking, actually, but okay. This is going to be a very weird looking set of roads. Very weird looking set of roads. I think we need I think we need roads going this way as well. It's very strange looking. I'm not sure how to feel about it. It's odd. Yeah, I don't like that at all. That's terrible. I kind of regret building that. Ugh. Oh, that's awful. Get rid of that. So I figured this might work if we just keep it really simple. I kind of decided against the idea of doing multiple residential zones and just keep it really small and do a bunch more hills around it. It's kind of got an inverted tiered city vibe going on right now, and I kind of dig that. It's obviously not a tiered city, but I just mean it's in this big sort of crevice, I suppose. It is going to need some trees, which I'm going to go ahead and do pretty much right away, because I do want to make sure this thing looks... It needs to look like it is surrounded in vegetation and all that. I want it to really feel like it's... I want the land around... I don't know why I've suddenly gone very creative with this particular thing, but I want the land around this to feel very imposing, almost. I want it to feel like, you know, it's this tiny, tiny little settlement in this huge, almost mountain range-like thing. So that's kind of what I'm going for with this. I also want to try and blend it into the existing trees and vegetation here, so that's something I'm very consciously trying to do here. Just going back and forth with the paintbrush. And I think that blends kind of nicely, just sort of feather it like that. So there's almost this sort of curve out towards the rest of the trees and all that. And then on this side, it's going to sort of curve towards the edge of the map. Just like that. So it almost, it's like it's going, you know, whatever would be off the edge of the map, it's going that way. And it's going to have to go up this way as well, I think. Just to make sure that it's not just surrounding the little valley. So just sort of throw a bunch of vegetation up there. Bring it down this way a little bit as well. Fill in some of this space. And I'm trying to leave a lot of the cliff faces, like the rock faces, exposed. Because I think, you know, that kind of makes a bit more sense. In fact, if we go to brush strength here and I just go in and sort of take out a bunch of these trees from the rock faces, I think that's going to be even better to just make the area look that little bit more harsh, that little bit more imposing that I was talking about. Just take a bunch of the trees off of the rock faces there, and there and over there as well. Then we need to go in with the smaller trees just to help feather this whole thing. So just go in like that. This makes the whole thing look a bit darker as well. Probably want to go with a bit of a smaller, bit of a weaker brush there. But we can feather this side as well. Just ever so slightly. I say ever so slightly. There's a lot of trees in there. But just like that helps to feather it out a little bit. There we go. So that curves off that way kind of well. I do want to throw in some of these trees as well, just for a bit of contrast. Get some of those lighter trees in there, since we don't have all that many of them. So feather it off in that direction as well. Go for some of this slightly darker one. And I think that kind of works. I think that's pretty good. It nicely surrounds it, kind of similarly to how the airport's surrounded in all these dense trees. That's kind of what I'm going for. There is one more thing I want to do, and this is actually a bit more terrain editing than I'd planned on doing here. I actually want to see if I can do like a little river type thing, like a little stream or something. So I'm gonna try some very precise terrain editing here. I want it to start at the top of this hill. And I'm basically just going to try and just cut away at this. I'm going to do like a large sort of thing here, just so that's where the water is going to start. And I want it to come down. So it's going to come down through here. And let's see. I think I kind of want it to almost like pool here a little bit. So it's almost like it's got like these different levels to it. So it comes down and then there's like this kind of clearing area. And then it can maybe sort of come down and around here. This isn't necessarily how rivers work, but we can assume there was some very hard rocks underground here that it couldn't erode through. This is actually, this is more of a This isn't as much of a stream as I wanted it to be, I'm gonna be honest. Let me just smooth all that out again. So smooth all that out, go with a much, much smaller brush, and we'll carve out just the start there. Slightly larger brush, and let's just go straight down with this to about there. In fact, we can grab that level, and we can say from here, just do a very, very smooth, you know, incline there. Quite a deep cutout there, but we can work with that. We can smooth that and make it look all right. We'll go back in and start just chopping away here. And I think this will be okay. We can probably do some little waterfalls and all that kind of stuff. But just keep bringing this down. I'm not really sure where it's going to go next to the town. I'm not entirely sure on that detail, but we'll figure it out, I'm sure. So it comes down. It's going to go... I think it's going to go through here. So this little road here is going to have to be a bridge of some sort. So let's just lower the terrain. Let me actually flatten this, just so we can get a proper idea of what height we're working with. It's not necessarily going to be that deep, but we can work on that. So just start carving away again. It's probably going to be very, it's going to be quite rapid, these waters. Definitely not going to be just a little country stream, that's for sure. It is going to be quite the intense flow of water, I think. So let's just curve this up the hill. We'll have to take all those trees out of it as well. That's for sure. But we sort of have a path. So we'll bring this along, and I think it's gonna have to sort of go like around here. So it's properly chopping away at that hill, isn't it? But we can do some rocks. We can make that look really interesting, I suppose. We'll just keep bringing this around. And we'll keep bringing it this way. And it's going to have to go under that road as well, but that's fine. It is at least heading in the right direction. At least I've got that going for me. So it needs to go under that road, which is totally fine. And then I guess sort of head this way slightly. And we can open it up a little bit so it sort of, you know, just meets the water a bit better. Yeah, this is going to look ridiculous. This is actually going to look ridiculous, but I'm kind of excited to see just how ridiculous it looks. Because it could look like, it could be good ridiculous, or it could be terrible ridiculous, and I just don't know which one it's going to be yet. Let me start, I guess, leveling some of this, just to get a proper idea of heights once again. Because there's probably going to be a lot of tweaking here. We're going to be a whole lot of tweaking to get this right. Now let's go ahead and just turn that all into that's so deep down there. Good lord. That is actually kind of ridiculous. Like seriously deep there. At least this bit here is would be fine. So if we just go through and sort of do all that, we can do some slopes and all that to try and get the heights better. But there's some seriously steep sections of water, I guess. All right, let's go ahead and take the trees out and I guess see what we're really working with. So I have ever so slightly flooded the roundabout, and there is traffic currently waiting to get around the roundabout. Fortunately, we do actually have these guys here. The vacuum trucks are actually here to deal with all the water, so that's nice. The water is also getting to the river, which is also nice. But this whole river looks a little weird. It's definitely not quite... it's not quite what I had in mind. It might look better with a key along here, which... honestly, I'm thinking it's gonna need... I think we might need to ever so slightly adjust the way I've done the river here. So... let's try a key, I guess. Let's go from this spot to there. Let's go from here to, let me see. Can I turn off road guidelines real quick? I probably can, but I'm not going to. We'll go to there, and what I'm going to do is actually bring this key right up to there, I guess. I'm going to have to move this fire station, I think. So the fire station can be moved over to, it's going to be moved there, and this key is actually going to be moved right up alongside the road there, and this one can just be moved ever so slightly back. So what I want to do is I want to grab every part of this thing, and I want to say that every part of it's going to be raised to exactly the same height, which is going to be that height there. Now that does cut into the terrain a little bit on this side, so maybe we want to do something more with that, but we'll figure it out in a second. And I think what I want to do is I want to have this key go from here to, I think, over here. So let me see if I can figure this out. So I want to go to, let me turn on guidelines. I want to go to there. And I basically want this to loop around like that. Which I know looks a bit strange, but it's going to give us a nice big space here to play with. I can actually take this little section of key right up to the highway as well. And obviously I'm going to need to ever so slightly redo some of the waterways there, but that's fine. That's doable. So what I'll do is go in with the old terrain brush, and we're just going to flatten out the terrain here. And I guess this is just going to be a little bit of a man-made thing, I suppose, which I'm fine with. I'm actually okay with the idea that we would have like a little man-made sort of area here. Maybe this whole area has been reclaimed or something. I don't really know. I hadn't really thought that far ahead. But I think this looks kind of cool. And I think what we could also do is turn that into a bridge as well. And maybe just grab every node along this bit and level it all out, except for, well, no, that's probably fine. So level all to there. And I think that just helps to flatten out the area, give us a nice bit of a river, and we'll see what happens there. I'm also realizing I'm probably going to want to figure out a way to, let's see, where's the control? There's what I'm looking for. I'm going to want to figure out a way to do this, because that ain't right there. I'm wondering if I update nearby, does that fix it? It actually looks like it does. So if I was to do that, no. Maybe we just do the whole thing again. So if I was to go out there with a key, can I go like this? I totally can. Okay, that looks a little strange, but I think I'm going to allow it. And I think I'm going to just have to smooth out some terrain here, because this whole corner is weird. Tell you what, let me flatten all this as well. In fact, you know what? Flatten this entire middle bit. I'm not going to keep it flat, but I'm just doing this so I can smooth out the terrain, then put some hills in here. So give me a smooth brush, give me a decent size on it, sort of smooth all this out. Just nice and easy does it. In fact, honestly, select it all again. So select all of that, select all of those, and raise it all up to the height of the key there. That way the water is going to be nicely below this whole thing. So let's just raise that up to the same level, I suppose. So select those nodes and bring them up to that height. Maybe take those two bits out and just redo that bit of road to get a nice straight slope for it. So there to there, that's perfect. And now the smoothing brush should be that little bit better. There we go. That's what I want to see. So smooth all of that out. And then that gives us, again, that nice bit of, just that nice bit of land over here to work with. That's going to hopefully give us a better river as a result. Let me just lower the terrain a little bit there. That's maybe a little bit much. Just lower it to about that height. And just flatten it all out. Just so that the river is all sort of the same depth here. That bit of key there is actually needing turned around as well. That's a bit of a pain. That's fixable though. We can just go in here and redo the entire bit of key. And that should actually give us a nice little slope too. Okay, perfect. Let me... Actually, you know what? We can just go straight under here. Much better. Okay, that I think will be pretty good. We might want to ever so slightly adjust this slope though, just to make sure it cuts away at the terrain properly. So it just cuts away on the side there, flows in really nicely. That should give us a pretty good river. This bit here probably needs widened though, just looking at it, because it's going to be, well, it's going to be something. So just widen that little bit so it curves around. We'll just do that as though the river's sort of eroding away at the land a little bit more on that side. Have it erode away there as well. And then as it comes around, it can sort of go out wide here as well. And ever so slightly erode at that land too. Okay. That is an interesting looking river. Definitely better looking than it was. Still messy, that's for sure. Still a bit of a mess, but it's growing on me, is what it's doing. Let me go ahead and go for a bit lower water capacity on this and just lower that into there so that the, just so that the water going out to the river here is actually, you know, it's got some force to it, right? That's kind of what we want. And I guess with that, it's time to do some zoning, because, you know, we're way behind on all of this. So everything in here is gonna be commercial. These bits here are not gonna be commercial. I guess, let's see. The fire station's probably fine. In fact, the fire station I kind of want to move. Let's see if I can do a little road in here. And we'll do the same on the other side, just for the sake of symmetry. We all know how I love me symmetry. The fire station can then sit nicely sort of tucked away there. And I kind of like the idea of doing a couple of offices just there. Just because I can. It wouldn't necessarily make sense for the town center, but I kind of like the idea. Maybe we'll do some offices sort of up the top there as well. We can do some offices kind of in there too. And I think I'm actually going to just duplicate this road a couple of times over just to fill up that space. These bits here can be left, but this way we actually have some office zoning in here too. We have some room for parks and some green space and all that. Then over here is just going to be residential, basically. That's the entire plan for this space. So residential the whole way around. We can do residential in all of this space too. So all up in there is going to be residential. We do have a medical clinic, a police station, a cemetery, and a couple of parking lots for tourism, of course. And then I guess along here as well is going to be, well, it's going to be commercial right along the river. And then around this thing is going to be parking lots, obviously. But this is basically, this is kind of the idea that I've had for this place, you know, not just parking lots, but parking lots around this, lots of high density stuff in here, and we can go in, set it as a district, have the European theme, and it's going to look like a little town. And I know I said I was going to go for the old market road thing that's in Castletown. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think there's much point in doing that right now. But what I will do is say Thornton Square is going to be European. And we're going to go in, give it the pipes at long last. I say at long last, I'm not actually sure how long this episode is. For me, I'm currently on about an hour and a half. So I'm not really sure what that's going to translate to once the editing's done, but it's definitely a bit of a longer one for me at least. Definitely a bit of a longer one, but that's all right. That's no big deal. We're getting something done that I have been wanting to do for a while. I've been thinking about this village. I do realize I said we'd do the zoo today. Might be obvious. That's gonna have to wait until another episode. It'll be the next episode. We'll do the zoo. But at least all of this has its, water at this point. As for power, I'm not really sure how we're going to do that one. That's going to be a particular trick, I suppose. We shall certainly see on that and see what comes of it. And we actually have zoning coming in already, so I guess we're figuring out power. Let's do the rural utility lines. Let's get some of those in here. So go over that way. And then I guess these are just going to follow the road. So let me turn off all of the snapping here. And basically just go that way. And we're just going to have it follow the curvature of this little country road. Even though a lot of them are being a bit weird. I need to make sure to give it plenty of room as well. So that it doesn't have the little pillars disappear. Because I actually want to be able to see those. Those are what make the little, power line thing look good. So yeah, just along there. The nearest power connection is actually going to be over there, so I think that's where we're going to go with it. So we'll take it around, take it along this road, and we'll maybe cut it across actually, and just take it straight to there. So there we go. That looks the part to me. We have all this traffic going around here, including... What are you doing? Okay, so there's still some flooding apparently. That's getting sorted by the looks of it. But that's actually kind of cool to see traffic using that road, even though it's just using it as a bypass for the highways, I guess. That's still kind of cool. It's also really cool seeing this all build already. I'm kind of excited to see traffic going out there. I'm also thinking I should do a key right along there just for the sake of that road, but that's probably fine. We'll do that in a little bit. I do like how this looks though. I think it does need more trees, actually, just looking at it. And it's gonna need to not be quite as square. And that is something I will do for sure, is kind of go in here and add a couple more roads around the edges just to make it look like it feathers out a little bit more. Not the trees, I mean the town itself at this point. Just to make it look like it feathers and kind of has like a nice little sort of natural end to it. Because right now it's just a big square and it looks a bit weird, but I think, as a start, it's there. Right? I think as a start, it's definitely there. And I think adding those trees has just done wonders for it as well. There we go. Let's get the slightly smaller ones in too. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I guess we're waiting for all this to build. I'm also realizing the police station needs to be using, let's see. Use the Crown Victoria and the 2012 Honda Goldwing police cars, please. And use the UK ambulance. Because I can. That's pretty much the only reason there. As for power for you, I'm wondering if we maybe want to try and take power across from here. And I'm thinking we probably do want to do this because it's gonna just make life a lot easier. So take like power lines straight into there. And maybe just a little power line going from there to there as well. And that should eventually give this whole space power too, which will be lovely. But we should see very soon if you're not... What are you doing right now? Are you pumping something? You are. Okay, so there is apparently still water to be pumped up. Or what? Why are you doing that bit? Why is that all being soaked? That's just not necessary. He's draining the river. Sir? Would you mind not doing that? It'd be really great if you wouldn't do that. I'm gonna be honest. It would be preferred if the river was left to, flow. That's kind of why it's there. That is ever so slightly why it exists. Let me go in and throw... I guess throw this just there. Just try and boost the water a little bit in that spot as well. But we should see We absolutely should see some traffic head out to the little village at some point. We should see some service vehicles out here at some point. We should see some hearses. And we should see a kind of interesting looking little village in the hills, I guess. Still weird looking, but I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. I do think a little bit more natural sort of roads around the edges, and we're set for it. I think that's great. I'm really happy with that. Anyway, ladies and gents, I think that'll do us for today. Next time, we'll go ahead and put in the extra little roads that I was talking about. And I guess next time, and you can hold me to this, we'll head out to... Whoa. Oh, no, that's not enough goods or something. That's fine. I thought it was not enough power. Oh, those planes. I guess next time we can head out to the volcano island and finally build Jurassic Park. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. It's been my pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.